Peace, my family, and world that those coming out at Cocoon for the first time. Welcome. This your girl, the butterfly. We about to take off. Oh yes, let's fly. Just want to send you all the good healing energy your way. Peace, love, happiness, harmony, and abundance. Hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right in that good mind. How y'all feeling, family? I hope you guys most definitely moving on up in your higher nature. And most definitely cleansing, because if you don't know now, you know, oh yes, you must cleanse. Cleansing that lower nature, those lower frequency energies, family. It is so real out here, alright? It's about purifying that soul. Alright? First and foremost, all praises to a new, almost glorified and exalted. And I want appointing to Jesus, Yahshua, Temos, Horus, Root, glory and honor. But right now, I came out here today to express, okay? And again, this is in the scroll called Does God and the Devil Exist? Question. I know that this will help you to piece certain things together, so this is why I'm sharing certain things, right? So let's get to it. Okay? Alright. The question was, how does God's Spirit move across the surface face of the waters, as it states in Genesis 1:2? Alright, let's get to it. It reads, first, let's assume that a spirit, which the Jews of course called an Ruka in Hebrew and Muslims call Ruah in Arabic, meaning spirit, is moving upon the surface of the water, right? According to Genesis 1:2, whose spirit is moving upon the surface of the water? Question. God. If God's spirit was moving upon the surface of the water, then what becomes larger? Question. The water or God? Question. God's spirit is moving upon the surface of the water, then the planet Earth is bigger than God. And God's spirit floats on the Fuah, as the Hebrew says, on the face, on the surface of the waters. Referred to is God a wind? Question scroll. Genesis 1:2, and it reads, and the earth was without form, and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Let's go on. This gives us another interpretation of God and his size and greatness. Now, why weren't you able to see this yourself without it being pointed out to you? Question. That's the question. Well, it's easy to blame it on the spell of ignorance, right? Blaming the spell is like saying the devil did it, or the devil made me do it, right? But I'm talking about you, per se. Why hasn't you read and comprehended this point? And the many others that are there right in front of you in the Bible or the Quran? Question. Don't you read for comprehension? Question. So why weren't you able to comprehend what took place in Genesis 1:2? Let's go on, because that's the end of his answer. It reads, if God's Spirit can move across the surface, the face of the waters, as it states in Genesis 1:2, then what size is God? Question. It goes on to say, when you say the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, that means that God must be kind of small in size in comparison to the waters. This is what I mean when I say, what size is God? Question. Because if God is a spirit, as it says in John 4:24, and I quote, God is a spirit, right? By saying a spirit, you are singling him out as a part of something, or one of something that exists. If he is a spirit or the spirit, right, and he moves upon the face of the waters as Genesis 1:2, so clearly puts it to move upon the waters, you have to be smaller than the waters. So if God moved upon the waters, then the waters are bigger than God. Now, we know that only 30% of the planet Earth is not covered underwater, and that 70% of this planet Earth is water. 1/3 of this 30% of the planet Earth that's not underwater is desert. Another 36% is mountain and rock, and the other 30% is architectural, land, places where people don't live. That leaves only 1%, the surface of the planet Earth for humans to live on. Note goes on to say, so when you break it down, human beings are living on about 1% of the planet Earth. Human beings assume that they are living on a large portion of the planet Earth until you take the planet Earth and divide it up. And you see that you don't live in water. So you are not on that part of it. You are not living on the rocks and high mountains. So you are not in that part of it. And you don't live in the deserts. So you are not in that part of it. So when you start isolating where human beings live, right, you come down to the fact that human beings are only a very small part of the planet Earth, which means that the human population of Earth is very small in relation to the size or its circumference, which is 24,849 miles in its diameter. And now let's take another look at God in the book of Genesis, right? One thing about God is that in Genesis chapter 1, as I already explained to you, God's spirit is moving upon the surface of the waters, and this water is a part of the planet Earth, also called Tamat, or Ki, before the separation, and then called Eridu, which is the ancient Sumerian meaning home away from home. When the angels, also known as the Elohim or the Anunnaki, who were your creators, came down to planet Earth and set up cities, refer to the holy tablets, the great book of the living, and that is on the channel. We've been going through the channel for a while now. Alright, that is the end of his answer. So that's a good place to stop for now. Again, my family, this is for you to check out for yourself and get your mind blown out here and get you to know the information the Most High wanted you to know about this planet and that you live on, and the species and beings that live on it, and beyond these stars, you know who you truly are. Time to find out the truth now. Alright, so if you're ready for that, you want to know, it's here for you. Alright, so we're going to leave it at that. Family, know that you are loved so much beyond this world. Oh yes, and in it, begin to spread that love, family, one to another, that peace that you seek. Release our master teacher, Dr. Malachi Sierk L. Peace, shalom, my shook divine love, family, and Wadu, because it is all